wonder why a new appointment to the Supreme Court is such big news? Well, of the three branches that make up the federal government, it's arguably the judiciary, the court system, that has the greatest impact upon our lives. But it's the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, that often makes the decisions that affect us on a national level. Because one of its jobs is to interpret the Constitution. It stepped into this role in 1803, when under Chief Justice John Marshall, it adopted judicial review, the ability to strike down laws that it deemed unconstitutional. But some of its rulings were hugely controversial. The verdict in the Dred Scott case was that the Constitution didn't recognize African Americans as citizens in the first place, and therefore they had no legal rights. This helped fuel the country's descent into civil war. Following the war and the passing of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, the Supreme Court was given new powers to prevent state governments from passing laws that violated the rights of individuals. And during the Civil Rights era, the Supreme Court used this power to strike down state laws that they thought went against a person's constitutional rights. It continues to do so today, making landmark rulings that affect all of our lives. Which is why we now have 9 justices, an odd number to prevent deadlock and ensure decisions are made. So, why does it matter? By having the final say on what laws are constitutional and what laws aren't, the Supreme Court has the power to decide what the government can and cannot do. Why do you think Supreme Court decisions create such emotional responses in American citizens?
Alrighty. So, as a review from yesterday, we learned all about the role of the Supreme Court in our lives. And so today, we're going to look at a big question. The video is supposed to help you review, but also see a little bit of the role that the Supreme Court has in actually influencing American life. And so today, you're going to be exploring this big question. Is the Supreme Court too powerful? So on today's agenda, you'll see that there are 4 steps you need to follow. All right. You're going to be completing an activity that's going to require you to read an article with both a yes and a no side, highlight evidence, fill out some columns that require you to analyze the arguments, and then you have to pick a side. Okay. Now, administrative item before I get into explaining that, just a reminder, there's a quiz tomorrow on Articles 2 and 3. The study guide key will be posted after school today. Also, tomorrow morning, feel free to stop by this room to review at 8 o'clock a.m. if you'd like to go over stuff before the quiz. Okay, so let's talk about today. So the big question is the Supreme Court too powerful? For this question, you're going to be reading an article. It's going to look like this. Okay, there's 2 authors, one with the yes side and one with the no. You're going to read the article and highlight any specific evidence in yellow. So as you're reading, you're annotating for evidence. And remember, evidence is fact-based information, not opinion. Okay? So you're going to read the yes side first and highlight evidence in yellow. Then you're going to read the no side and again highlight evidence in yellow. From those highlighted pieces of information, after you're done reading on your own, you can work with a partner of your choice, as long as you make a responsible choice, to complete the yes/no column on page 2. I would use the yellow highlighted evidence and insert it into the columns, or you can use evidence from your Article 3 guided notes from yesterday. Once the table is done, you're going to submit the activity, circle back to Schoology, and complete this discussion post. Is the Supreme Court too powerful? Why or why not? Explain using at least 3 pieces of evidence. And think about it. Where are you going to find that evidence? Right here. Okay. From the article and the activity you just did, a complete response will include 5 to 6 sentences. So please make sure you're taking time to write a thorough and thoughtful response. So that's the bulk of your day today. Whatever time you have left over, feel free to work on your study guide. And tomorrow you'll be taking your quiz. Let me know if you have any questions.